Hey guys, welcome back to another Management 4 tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a video player so that it plays a video on a TV. So in this example, I've got this RTC TV here, and it's going to just play a simple video on there, which I've just downloaded. So obviously you can use this in any way you want. This is obviously a square screen, but it works in any form that you'd like as well. This is just an example. So I'll show you what this is going to look like now. So you can see we have this TV here. If I go over here, we can't hear it. If I get closer, you can see it's starting to fade in a bit more, and here it's at full volume. You can see the video on there. Now that looks quite small, but that's just because of the kind of video it is. It will get bigger in a second. That's just what it is on the video itself. So as you can see there, we now have a different clip where it's a lot bigger. It's full screen, and we have the audio playing where and when we want it to as well. So I'm going to show you how to do this now as well. So I'll just delete all this code, and then I'll get right into it. So our first step is we want to import these files. So we're going to import the TV model and the video as well. So I'm going to do that just to show you what to do. So you can simply just drag and drop in the FBX file, like so, and I'll leave a link to this in the description down below. Hit import all, and then to import the video, what you're going to want to do is again simply just drag and drop the video in there, and it should import it as a video file, like so. File media source there. Obviously I've just named mine video test. What we want to do next is we want to create a media player for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click, go to media, and we're going to get a media player like so. You're going to tick video output media texture.asset, so it's going to create a texture asset for us to use as well, because that's what we need to do to have the video playing on the TV screen. I'm going to hit OK there. I'm just going to name this one TV media player like so. And we're going to open that up straight away. In here, you can see we have this video test here, so we just double click that. It should start playing it on here. I'm just going to hit pause on that for a second. And then with it still selected, down here under playback, you can see we have play on open, shuffle, and loop. I'm going to keep play on open ticked, and I'm also going to tick loop. So this means that when we open this file here, it's going to automatically play, which is what we want. And if we loop it, when it ends, it will just go back to the beginning. So obviously get those to how you want. And you can see here as well, the video is just loaded in, which is why that was blank there. It hadn't loaded yet. So now it has loaded. We hit play. You can see this is what the video is going to look like. We have it here looking great. I'm going to skip through to any part of this, and this is our video which we're going to have playing on the TV screen. So once you've done all that, you could customize that to how you want. I'm just going to save and close that, as that's all we need to do there. And you can see here we now have this TV media player video texture, so we have the media texture for it as well, which is, like I say, what we're going to use to create the actual screen. So one thing I should mention as well is on your TV asset, you should have a separate material for your screen. So if I open this up here, you can see that this is a separate material on the screen, so we can then play a video. You're going to want to do that, and the file which I've linked in the description down below, the FBX model, that already has that on there. So obviously just do this how you want, just making sure that you have a separate material there, like so. I'm going to close that. Might also just edit this color, get a bit more grey. Obviously this isn't a requirement. This is just me making it look a little bit nicer, like so. I'll just hit OK and apply that. What we're going to do next is we're going to actually create the blueprint for this TV. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, go to blueprint class. I'm going to create an actor. I'm just going to call this one TV BP, like so. Name it whatever you like, and open it up straight away. In here, we're going to add a component. I'm going to add a static mesh. I'm just going to name this one TV. So obviously this is then going to be our TV model. So CRT TV there. Now this is quite big, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scale this down. Again, you obviously don't need to do this, you just do it custom for your own model that you're using. But I think 0.25 is a good scale like so. I'm going to hit compile, and then I'll also just place this in on the desk that I have here, just so I get a correct sense of scale and rotation. So yeah, 0.25 is a good size for this TV. So I'm just going to place it on the table here, like so. So I think that looks good, like that. So I'm going to go back into the blueprint here. I'm going to add another component, and this component, I'm going to hit add component again. We're going to add a media sound, like so. And what this does is it just allows this TV video to actually have audio. Otherwise it wouldn't have audio if we don't add this, so make sure you do have this here. On this, what we're going to do is we're going to allow spatialization, and then also override attenuation. And you can see when we do that, we get these circles here. What these spheres do is this allows us to set where we want to hear the TV. So this inner circle here is where we have it at full volume, and this outer circle is where it starts fading out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll down under here until we get the attenuation distance. I'm going to lower the inner radius just a bit to be about 360, and the fall off distance, where it's going to be fading out, I'm going to put down to about 503. So here it's going to be full volume, here it's going to be fading in or out depending on where we're going. So that's going to be a lot better. That is how we set up the audio and the sound to be how we want. Then we're going to compile, go over to the event graph here. Off this, we're going to delete event tick and event actor begin overlap, and off of event begin play, what we're going to do is we want to open this source and play the video. So you know we set it to play on open, we want to open it so it then plays by default. So to do that, we're going to hit plus variable down here to create a new variable. I'm going to call this one media player, like so. I'm going to change the variable type from a boolean to be a media player. So media player object reference there, so like that. Compile to change its default value. We're going to change this to be our TV media player that we made earlier. We can drag and drop that variable in there, get media player. Out of this, we're just going to simply open source, and this is what's going to play it. So in this media source here, what we want to do is we want to put our video test on there, or just any video that you want to play. We compile and save that, and that is it done. So now this is the basic part done. I'm going to do something after this as well, but that is again just for this specific example. The materials are a bit messed up, but this should work. So now we can test this as well. So make sure this is working. So we minimize, hit play to test this. We can walk over to it. You see it's not actually opened. So why did that do that? We actually forgot to set up the material to have our texture on it. So let's do that. Let's open up our TV glass material here, like so. And let's just move this texture parameter over here, and actually we'll delete that. What we're going to do is we're going to hold down T, a left click, to get a texture sample there, plug in the RGB into the base color like so, and we're going to change the texture to be our TV media player video that we have there. Now we can apply that, and now we can see this working. Again, I'm going to change something after this, but let's just make sure that this basic part is working like so. So you can see we have the video on the texture there. Minimize, hit play. Well, actually, let's wait for this to compile first. Now we can hit play. We see that this is working like so. You can see we have the video on the screen. Now the issue that I had was that obviously with this example, the material is actually rotated wrong. So it's not going to be playing the right way up. It's rotated by about 90 degrees. So we're going to fix that in a minute. However, you can also notice that there's no audio for this. So let's see why that's happening as well. And I think what it'll be is the media sound. I didn't actually set the value. No, I didn't. So we need to set the media player on the media sound as well to also be TV media player. Compile and save. Now it knows which audio to play. So if we minimize this, this should now be working a lot better. Now you can see we have the audio for this as well. So we have the lightning strikes like so. And you can see that's playing that music. If I back out a bit, that's going to be fading out. And now I can't hear it. If I go back in, it's fading in. And this is where it's full volume. Now you may have heard at the start, it sounded like it replayed. So it's done that. And then it does it again. That's not a problem with this code. That's just the video itself is actually doing that. So that's not an issue for you. That's just the video I'm using. Now the final step is we're going to fix that issue with it being rotated. So you can see that is what that looks like there. If I open up the media player, so it should look like this, but it looks like this. So let's rotate it now. So we're going to open up our TV glass material, or just the material where you have the video playing. Off this texture sample here, we just want to rotate it. So we're going to right click, I'm going to get a custom rotator like so, plugging in the rotated values in the UVs example there. The UVs of the custom rotator is going to be a texture coordinate like so, plugging that in the UVs there. The rotation center, we want to have a constant 2 vector, so hold down 2 and left click. We can put 2 values in here. These are going to be 0.5 and 0.5. Plug that into the rotation center there. So it's going to rotate around the center of the video. And then the rotation angle, we just want a constant 1 vector, or just a constant. So we're going to hold down 1, left click, and we're going to set this value to 0.75. Now this might be different for you. These top 2 values here will be the same, but this bottom value here of 0.75 may be different for you depending on how it's rotated. But for me, this works perfectly. So this is basically how we're going to be rotating this material and this texture. So once you've done that, we hit apply, and now we should see this should be working a lot better. So we go back over to the media player here. You can see this is what it should look like. If I go back in here, once it's compiled, we should see that is what it is looking like. So as you can see, that now looks a lot better. Now it looks kind of squashed, but again, that's just because I'm doing this on a square instead of a full screen TV. So now if we hit play, this should be working perfectly. So I think that'll be it for this video, as we've done everything we wanted to do. We set up a TV which will play a video on it, and the audio also works perfectly. So this is where we'll have full volume, and this is where we'll be fading in and out. So I'll show you again what we've created. We have this TV here, where we have the video on there, looking perfect and playing perfectly like that. And then if we back out, or here, sorry, this is full volume. If we back away, it's fading out a bit, and then if we go back in, it fades back in until it gets to full volume there, like so. And you can see the video is still playing, and the audio works perfectly on all of this as well. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and hope you found it helpful. And if you did, make sure to like and subscribe down below. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.